Let's see if I can get you to see this real quick. Can you? Yeah, right about there. Looks like you can see Tyson Fury's hand wraps around his fingers. So the knuckle of this man, there we go. The knuckle of this man is below his thumb of the glove. The thumb of the glove is literally above, higher than the knuckles of the fighter. The fighter's knuckles are right there, as we can see it. Yes, right there. That's where the fighter's knuckles are in the glove, meaning that the fighter was punching with no padding. You see, welcome to reality. You can stop hiding now. Any idiot with two brain cells to rub together between their beady, little, empty, heartless eyes could see that Tyson Fury is punching underneath the entire finger and thumb section of his glove. Thank you very much to Blue Blood Sports TV, Kai TV, BFTV Boxing, 78 Sports TV, Fanon, even though we have issues, you blocked me, of course, and there's a few other guys out there, and keep up the good work. Obviously, if we can't even get people to rally around this truth and this great deception, don't expect much more of them. This is the most obvious deception in sports history, and we can't even get people to use their brains. I mean, when I listened to this fight almost a year ago now, I remember listening going, something is wrong, and my senses told me that something was very deceptive at the point of just listening to it, because of course many of us do not watch on the pay-per-views. But this isn't the end of this, guys. This is absolutely massive. And again, Deontay Wilder, the only professional athlete I can even remember my entire life bringing up the Bible when he actually knew that he was going to come forward and speak on this controversial matter. No one's done that. So that's a record. The first man to ever knock out somebody that was using tempered gloves in the history of boxing. Wow, that's amazing. That really happened. That means that Deontay Wilder has stopped or knocked out every single man he's ever faced. Well, that's why these people are scared to death. To the family that understands this, they hated Deontay Wilder because he was so different. They hated Deontay Wilder because he didn't try to fit in. And all the other great champions were also jealous, and they wanted to discredit Deontay Wilder. And then after this happened, they wanted to reach out to Deontay Wilder to help him so that they can again put some more worship on themselves, be in the spotlight, and take advantage of Deontay Wilder. Now, instead of doing the right thing, and clearly, by the way, many of these photos that were high quality photography by a certain gentleman I don't know much about were taken off the internet. I do know about that as a mandated reporter. I know when things are covered up, that's what happened here. Shout out to Young Pharaoh, a man that I disagree with on a lot of things, but he was one of the first people to point out these errors or inconsistencies or problems against the rules of boxing, against the Nevada State Athletic Commission, against literally all ethical properties of sports and history. And it's not just one glove, it's both. But all I have to do is prove one, which we already have. His knuckles are seen in the open part of the glove, nowhere near the finger portion of the glove. So yes, you can see his knuckles. You can see the hand wrap around the knuckles. Just type in Tyson Fury knuckles on Google. You're there. Good to go. Piece of cake. And people will continue to hide from it. So when somebody instigates you and is yelling at you and calling you crazy because you think that Tyson Fury cheated and there's no way that happened because that's never happened before, well, then they're obviously a psychotic nut job in the first place, when that happens all the time in sports and in politics. Remember, lately everybody's been agreeing with me. You have the Republicans saying all these other people lied. You have the Democrats saying all these other people lied. You have all these groups that say everybody's lying. Well, it looks like everybody agrees with me that everybody's lying, except for not this guy from England that got caught with nandrolone, or supposedly he ate wild boar meat, and then the guy that was Martin Carefoot or something, I forget his name, was actually approached on by Tyson Fury's camp to then make up a story about raising wild boar, which they don't even have. And then he did that and realized, okay, that was a bad idea. Of course, probably not getting paid by Tyson Fury's entourage, or Tyson Fury, is what led Martin Carefoot, I'm sorry for the name issue, this old farmer, then retracts his statement and just doesn't want to get involved, because now he's in really deep water and he's probably getting his life threatened, since this one man is also exposed, of obviously being that Deontay Wilder did it first, exposed one of the biggest corrupt actions in boxing history. And again, we have never seen the commission catch anyone when they were breaking the rules. It's always somebody else, a trainer, a photographer, a family member maybe. But when this happened to the Irish boy, a few decades ago, it was a big deal. And that guy actually ended up dying because of those injuries to his eyes when somebody was using tampered gloves. Or when Margarito did it to Cotto several years ago. Man, it's amazing how this world can just forget. But you guys don't even want to take on Luis Ortiz. There's a reason. But sadly, for you, your guy got knocked out cheating. So Deontay Wilder has actually accomplished another world record, the first ever knockout of another man that was cheating with loaded gloves. And by the way, this man also has every single size advantage: height, reach. He has twice as long in the experience of the sport. He was raised in boxing. His name is Tyson Fury, and he has been caught red-handed, period, end of story. There's nothing you can do about it. It's the most obvious criminal act in sports history I've ever seen. I don't even care about sports. I don't want to talk about sports. Boxing is something you cannot play, as our gentlemen can tell you that are more of an expertise behind the matters. But I saw... many years ago, 30 years ago, I saw Mike Tyson take his first loss. And then a few years later, I saw him bite Holyfield as a child. So that's the environment that my father raised me around. And it turns out that God is good and blood always finds its level.